And Madam, thank you for joining us today. The last time we didn't have the privilege of your presence, but we're truly happy that you're with us today. I can see why he's a very happy and contented man. I can see Madam here has been the wind behind his sail. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
So much.
Good to be with you again.
Thank you.
All right. So,
Okay, so we have some questions to ask you concerning the birth of the church. Yeah, so my colleague here and the member of the church here will ask you the first questions that we need to know about the birth of the church.
Okay.
yeah, like I was discussing with Precious before you came in, we've had this thing because I think a lot of people would like to know. The growth of the church is very much, what do you call it, a work in progress. But we want to take you back to how it all started. Because I know you're a professional, you're an urban and regional planner, and you used to work with the FCDA here in Abuja, and apparently you were doing okay. So I want to understand, what was it that the call, what led to the call, and what was the conviction that made you think it was right to leave what, it takes a lot of courage and conviction to leave where you're doing well, stable, you got a good job, and you got a good family and everything. Then you wake up one day and say, listen, I want to dedicate my life and my time to serving God full time. So we want to understand, how did the call come, and what was the conviction that made you decide it was time to go into full ministry?
All right. First of all, I must thank God for His faithfulness upon my life. To be honest, I never wanted to be a pastor in the first place. All I had in my mind was just to be doing normal secular job and still be on fire for God, but not to go into full-time ministry as it is today.
Yeah.
However, along the line, I felt so much pressure and I was losing my peace. I was not getting myself, no matter what it is, I was finding it difficult to flow, because my heart goes after people to see how much of help I can be used by God to reach onto people as regards to their soul, regards to their salvation, regards to what matters most to them. So I became increasingly restless about that, and I felt so much pressure, because whatever I do at that point in time, I see that God is using me mightily, much more than my profession, if I would say.
Okay.
And so eventually, I saw myself in ministry. That's what I can say for that, because it's a long story cut short.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a natural conviction, a desire to be instrumental to the spiritual growth and life of people around you.
Yeah.
So you felt this conviction to, so the call was more of a conviction.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much. Also, now that you've mentioned how this came about, I'd like you to tell our viewers, how did you start with, how did you go about gathering people, finding a place of worship, all the logistics that go with starting up a ministry? How did you go about doing that, at the first time, which must have been quite challenging? Could you let us know how you were able to gather people and then start?
Okay. First of all, I think the best that can happen to one's life is to discover your purpose on time.
True.
And the work I'm doing is not my work. I'm working for God.
Correct.
So the moment I received the call, how to gather people was not a challenge. How to gather them, where to worship wasn't my challenge. My own was, how can I be used by God effectively to touch the lives of people? So 2021 July, to be precise, though I had this perception that God is calling me into ministry as far back as 2004.
Okay, that's 17 years.
Years ago, yes. Since then, even one of my sisters was telling me I should go to, a convent to become a reverend father.
Okay.
To be honest. So I just tried to dodge all this kind of costs. So until somehow, alongside, I begin to see that God is using me mightily, and I derive so much pleasure out of it. So, about 2021 to be precise, during COVID-19 lockdown,
Okay.
where I lived then, I had some lot of people, my neighbors, who saw, begin to feel or saw the power of God in me, or would I say, got some level of conviction, and we decided to hold a meeting every first, second, third day of every month in my sitting room at that time. And after a while, we grew on that second or the second month, we grew up to almost 15 people. And then there was so much God's intervention in people's life and things like that. So from that moment, we decided to move further to get a place at Eritrea by Havia Garden, opposite Garki, beside Garki Hospital. And from there, we started the meeting on Fridays alone. And we grew so much so, I think just after 2-3 months, we grew up to almost 100 plus.
Wow.
Yes, we grew, and God was performing His work or His word, confirming His word with signs and wonders, and it grew. We have never used flyer, we have never used any form of publicity, but it continued to grow, and it grew, just in 3 months, and that's what I can say.
Okay.
So it doesn't need challenge at all to other people.
So basically, the ministry started like a house
Yes.
cell prayer
Yes.
movement, and
Yes.
then grew into what we see today.
Yeah.
Okay, Precious, do you have one or two questions?
Yeah, I do. From what he has said, the family already knew while he was still a child that he had this calling in him.
Yeah.
But he had not really given the time to become a pastor. He went to school, got a job, and was doing well, got married. All right, sir, so I would want to know, what was the initial reaction of your family and your friends when you decided to become a full-time minister, leaving your profession to become a full-time pastor? What was their reaction like? How was it like?
Okay, you see, most times, whenever you have made up your mind to do something, people will just disagree with you. Some people will not just agree with you in the first place. It doesn't matter whether they are your siblings or your parents or, but people were not in total agreement with what I was going to do as to becoming a pastor. I remember I told my mom that I finally received a call of God. So I could see from her face that she was not really
thrilled.
Yes, about it. So she asked me, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, I'm sure." And so from there, many of them, not only my mom then, it was later on I discovered that, okay, truly the call is evident in my life. So many of them did not agree with me. They almost gave me reasons why I should hold on, probably to work for some years, and then think it through and probably resign and go into full-time ministry. So maybe they felt I was too young, I don't know, or they felt I should just focus on my secular profession, which is about original planning, or I don't know, but then they felt almost it was either too urgent or too early or something like, in fact, some of them, not named with health, felt maybe I lost my mind somehow, almost advising me to not to go into full-time ministry. I can just serve God, but maybe on the surface. But I persisted because I discovered that whenever you find yourself in God's purpose, it doesn't matter what someone feels towards you. Their opinion is inconsequential, because all I wanted from God is God to give me the power to prove them why I'm into what I'm doing, and to God be the glory. All of them later discovered that truly it was God's will for me to go into full-time ministry, including my mom, who really benefited much from this calling. I would say she really believed that this was God calling me into ministry, and now I'm into it.
Okay, that's good. All right, Mom, I would like to ask you to know and to hear from you. We know, like, how we are saying things, you are in support of this, but I believe this was not how it was from the beginning, because I know it must be challenging. You're living with your husband, and then
definitely.
all of a sudden
He wakes up one day to say,
one day to tell you that,
"Babe, this is what I want."
this is what I want to do, and you are not sure of it. When you have the family to feed, and we'll be like, how is it going to look like? There must be a challenge there. So were you in support of it, or you were against it at the beginning?
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I so appreciate. I was 100% in support. The reason is, these are what I want to say now. They are the things that motivated me. Firstly, a shared sense of divine calling.
Okay.
You know, at first, when he came into my life, I was already an evangelist.
Oh,
Okay.
So I was a lover of Christ
And the things of God.
and the
it
things
makes
of
it
God.
easier for
Yeah.
you.
Yes, I didn't really struggle.
Okay.
So, but when he came, just as he said, I didn't see him as a pastor.
At the very
You
beginning.
know. But what I saw in him is just a lover of God.
Okay.
And there is this thing that he kept doing always, and I used to say within me, I said, this man, there's a calling on him. And I wish he could just answer the call.
So you already had the conviction
Yes.
that there was
I
a
had
calling
it.
upon his life,
Yes.
even before he came out to say, look, I want to go full
Mhm.
time. Okay.
Mhm. So this is him. When he's sleeping at night, he will not sleep straight. Every 10 minutes, you see him waking up to pray. You can imagine.
Even before he went into full ministry.
Yes.
Wow.
Every 5 minutes. Sometimes I will ask him, don't you sleep? Every 5 before day breaks, you see him pray like 30 times. So, you know, I did not just struggle, even though, you know, we saw some things, storms, you know, family reactions, friends, people telling him,
Are you sure?
are you sure God has really called you? Even when they saw the evidence in him,
Yes.
the proof. So they were even, there's one of our, you know, family, you know, relative who called him and said, can't you just continue with this your job?
Exactly. Especially when they have the perception that you have something good already.
Yes. So it was not
Leaving
a
the
stress.
known for the unknown.
Yes, it wasn't a stress. I did not struggle. In fact, it has always been my heart cry. Because I remember when I was unmarried, I was telling God, I said, Lord, I want to serve you, but give me a husband that will help me to serve you.
Exactly. So you could also say that it was your own early conviction that infected him and made him
Exactly.
decide to
No,
go.
the thing is,
Sure.
he had the calling
Yes.
as an evangelist.
Yes.
It was just a connection of God.
Yeah. And
Just to bring them together, to make it easier
and
for
then the
for
ministry
him.
now took off after he had brought them as two people of like minds,
Yeah,
and then
Yes.
God's plan now took root
making the journey very
a
easy.
lot easier. So that's very interesting.
Secondly,
Yes, go on.
a deep love and respect for my husband. Because the scripture says, can two really work together unless
Unless
they
they
agree?
agree. That's right.
First, I have to agree on the calling and his vision. I have to give him full agreement. And that is backed up with love.
Exactly.
Because if you don't love your husband, you cannot
They can't
support
support
his
him.
vision.
Correct.
And secondly, I always feel, in fact, one of the hardest things for a lady to do is to marry a pastor. It's very hard.
A lot of sacrifice.
In fact, you have to surrender everything.
Yeah.
You don't have years on your own. Your life is connected. Whatever you say, that is what you will do. So because that love is there and that respect is there, so I found it very easy
To fit into
to
that
fit
vision.
into that vision.
Yeah.
Lastly, an active helpmate.
Okay.
Because I won't say active wife, no. Sometimes, just as said about the pressure from the family, from the friends, each time I notice he complains a lot, he's not sleeping, he's worried,
Yeah.
I will also tell him, I will move to him and say, remember, there's Christ in the storm.
Yes.
Jesus is in the boat. So I give him the strength when I notice he's weak.
Weak. Yeah.
I encourage him physically, spiritually, and otherwise. emotionally, I'm always there.
Which is a very important
Yes.
support base. Yeah.
So, because iron
Sharpness, iron.
Thank
Correct.
you.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you
Very enlightening.
Yeah, if I could just add to what you just said, there are some indices that actually just gave me the courage to step into full-time ministry. I had told you before, I was just doing normal Friday meetings with people,
Yeah.
but there are other few things that actually gave me that boldness to step into full-time ministry, which I would just want to mention a few of them, many out of thousands of them. First of all, I went to pray some time ago at Millennium Park, where I met a young man who was, was just a kind of person, human being I've never seen before, that looks a little bit controversial. That I confidentially told him about Christ, tried to preach to him, and he told me that nobody ever spoke to him about Christ this way.
Okay.
And he's in Nigeria on a mission, and they are everywhere in the state of Nigeria, and they are causing a lot of havoc in the country. And he belongs to a team of, would I say, killers,
Wow.
or assassin, as I would call it, assassin. Yes. Right there in the Millennium Park, he was holding, he was there with his gun and those kind of things, long story short. And he told me, after praying for him, led him to Christ, he told me that he's so happy that today I've changed a wicked soul.
Wow.
That he couldn't imagine the family would have been thrown into panic or worry or anxiety this night. That's it.
Okay, so that means he already had a target.
Yes.
Somebody he was meant to assassinate.
Yes.
Wow.
They have like what you call in planning or in building industry. What do you call it? Building industry. Like you have architects, you have civil engineers, you
Quantity
have
surveyors.
quantity, all of them. So whatever kind of person you need to execute some level of wickedness, they have it.
Yeah. Okay.
So after preaching to him or talking to him for some time, he broke into tears. He was crying. He was helpless.
Wow.
And he said to me, he would give me an address of the person, his boss, to go in the same might or the same power of God, wisdom of God, to preach to his boss, because he has decided to even kill the person himself. So after I left him, I was so broken, I was so humbled too, and I felt like there are people out there who needs to hear such powerful word of God in my mouth.
Yes.
So that's one thing that made me to actually start stepping into ministry.
Okay.
Secondly, I remembered also when my brother fell sick, 2012,
Okay.
and was brought to my to my room that time in school. I was off
Still in
campus.
school. You were
Yes.
still in school at the time.
Yes, where his liver was ruptured and those kind of things. It was a terrible situation. And I told God, I said, if you heal him when I'm through with school, I will serve you full time.
Oh wow.
Though I said that in
It
pain
was a covenant.
Yes.
and in desperation that my brother would be healed, should be healed. So I didn't know when I said that anyway. But having said that, God honors it.
Yeah.
And after 2 or 3 days, healing took place. There was no blood transfusion, nothing medical, if I could remember. And he was perfectly made whole and returned to Abuja at that time.
Wow.
So then, thirdly, I discovered that each time they call me for administration or to pray for some people, I see miracles take place effortless. And I ask myself, how did it even happen? In my lifetime before becoming a pastor, I've seen not less than 4 people healed of hepatitis B and C. I have people healed of liver cirrhosis. People healed of HIV and AIDS like 2 times, different places. I have people healed of diabetes. So I felt God wants me to do more.
Yeah.
Because when they got healed and began to testify, I began to ask myself, how did it
that
happen?
happen? Yes.
So I find it easy to do God's work than anything I'm doing on earth, to be honest with you.
So it comes naturally.
So yes, and I can remember as far back as 1998 as well. They do call me, talk to families, even married couples. I do talk to them about marriage, those kind of things. And things do happen at that time. So I felt there's so much soul that I need to offer to my generation than just being a secular, worker or be doing work for God on the surface, coupled with feeling, feeling emotional about people, see people going through pains, either sickness or whatever it is they go through, makes me to see if I can reach out to them.
Okay.
I remember also I went to a church to preach one day, and after the service, we closed around 11 a.m. or thereabouts. And I asked if they want to see me as a pastor, and the whole church literally came to see me. I was there after the service was closed till around 4 p.m. and all queued. They want to see pastor. And having done that, all of these things are beginning to happen. Like, so people need to hear what I have.
Exactly.
So why still in my closet hiding from God's call?
Yes.
And things like that begin to happen. And I felt there's so much to it, and we don't have time to begin to go into details about those kind of things. I just felt I'm just right in God's purpose. Just as we said anyway, we had some challenges, or we are having some challenges, of course. But at a point, I get to know that even while you are in God's will, you also have to go through some challenges.
Yes, it's not
a free road.
Free or straight route.
Straight road. So that helps me to encourage myself beyond even my wife encouraging me at some points.
Yes.
Knowing that with time, things will get better.
Okay.
Lastly, one fateful Sunday, 2021, before the ministry in July took off.
Took off fully, yes.
We were prepared to go to church. Then I worship at Dunamis Church. And I've also been a Dunamis Church leader for almost 9 years. Home Center to be precise. So we came to see my mom. And then suddenly, that's around 7 a.m. on Sunday, in the other room, to tell her we're going to church. So when we came in, she said, a man just stepped out. Did you see him? We said, no. She said, someone just stepped out, just now, like this. I said, I didn't see anybody. And nobody opened up that day for
There was
anybody.
nobody else in the house, okay.
She said, a man just came and talked with her,
Wow.
using our dialect to communicate with her, telling her that, you see, this is your last born. It's like a baby crying in the womb who wants to speak, and the world will hear him.
Wow. Praise God.
So she said she saw me talking to people under a tree, and it was overflow. People were just everywhere, overflow, hearing me speak. And then she opened her eyes. She just discovered that
It was like
we just stepped into the room.
Yes.
So she felt,
That the person had only
was
just
almost
left.
like real. Yes. So she was crying and she prayed for me. I just thought she prayed for me and my wife, and then began to talk to me. That was like around March or April 2021.
And this was just a few months before the
The
ministry went
ministry,
live.
yes.
Okay.
So there are many things to that, and I felt it was becoming almost like
Impossible to ignore.
it, and it's becoming more dangerous for me to actually avoid the call
Yes.
for my own good as well.
Precisely.
So I had no option.
Than to go full-time ministry.
She asked me, she said, how do we gather members? I said, I don't care how many members will come. If I see one person,
I'll go
I will
ahead.
preach.
Yes. That's your faith.
That's my faith anyway.
Yes.
And to go with the glory, it's
Yeah.
changing
You have to be
gradually.
faithful.
Amen. So these are the things, among many of them that we can talk about.
You see, I had expected to, yes, before you, I had actually wanted to ask, I wanted to know the events that gave him the full conviction that he was on the right track in terms of serving God full time. But you can see he has already,
Yes, already.
and extensively shown that there
just
were events.
to come on to that, probably you may ask also, may want to know, how did I now come into full-time ministry?
Okay.
It was just Friday meetings we do hold.
Yes, you said so, yes.
Then I was working with Dunamis Church, but I have a mentor, Pastor Ifeanyi. He's a person I run to most times. He's a father, a mentor. We talk like friends. He advised me on things to do, and he perceived too I had the call. He had asked me to join Dunamis Church and to be a pastor in Dunamis Church,
Okay.
but I knew I had a call, and I wouldn't want to go there to start as if I want to use their platform to gather members.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
No. So I believe I had a call, and I was also stepping into my own full-time ministry. So he asked me, how are you doing this ministry? I told him. He said, no, if you must do it if you want to do the ministry, you have to do it full-time.
Full time, yes.
Because the call you have is to also groom people stabilize them. So you have a pastoral call,
Okay.
what he told me. So he asked me to go and wait on the Lord for some days and set a feast like what Gideon did and return to him to give him my own revelations,
and
which I
feedback.
did, of course.
Okay.
And I returned to him to tell him this was what God showed me. It's a long story anyway.
Okay.
So he asked me, I think truly,
You're meant to be in full.
yes,
release.
and your time has come. Go into it without any fear. And I stepped into it. And from that day till forever, there was never a time I felt like if I'm on the wrong path.
Yes.
I only felt some challenges, felt some pressures, felt some things like questions, looking for answers. But then I see I'm still in God's purpose.
Amen.
Which
Yes.
is a normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go to the next question, Mommy wanted to say something just a minute ago. Before I ask you the next
Okay.
question, let her. I think she wanted to
In
contribute
line with
something.
what
He just said yes.
In fact, before we move into
Full time.
not full-time, the ministry,
Yes.
we're doing like 3 days. in
Yes,
house.
the prayer
My parlor was no longer conducive
because of the number of
because
people
of the number of, not only the number, but the evidence was so
strong.
strong. And one of the people that used to come for the prayers, one day I said to him, say, Pastor, we cannot continue this in your room. You
Yes.
can imagine the anointing was so severe, was so pronounced that they were as in, we cannot continue this thing again in your parlor.
Yes.
Let us move out.
Move out.
That was how they moved us out.
So you are
from the
compelled.
parlor.
You
They
are compelled to
move by
It
force.
wasn't just
So what he was actually trying to deny, to run away
from was coming
it
stronger.
was coming not on his own side, but people.
The conviction was on
Yes.
the members who were
Yes.
coming for the prayers.
So we were now moved to area 3.
Okay. So now, yes, okay, go ahead.
All right, so we have seen that the pastor already had the experience,
And
well
like you
experienced.
pointed out, there was already a covenant.
Yeah, he had a
He had
covenant,
entered
which he
when he
had
was still in school.
when he told the Lord to heal his brother. If you
And
do
that
this,
would
I will
serve
do this.
you full
You
time.
understand, of which God did. So he had to go into full-time
So
ministry.
there was already a divine compulsion on him
Yeah.
from when he was in school, which may
Exactly.
explain why he used to feel restless. And even when he was working and
Yeah.
hadn't started the ministry full time,
Exactly.
there was this constant spiritual pressure because of the covenant he already
Mhm.
had.
Yes, he went into with the Lord.
Even though it wasn't conscious at that time.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Okay, so we see that he has the experience, and from the advice, he had someone who was advising him, that's a mentor. So we have audience that are listening to us, to the interview we have here. Someone might be there struggling
Exactly.
just the way he was having restlessness
Yes.
concerning the ministry. And there might be somebody out there who would want to get an advice based on this, who want to go into full-time ministry. So, sir, can you please tell someone out there who is having this feeling of being called,
But it's not too
but is not too sure, but has this feeling of being called to go into full-time ministry or starting a church?
Okay, what I would say to people who have the feelings, if it's just feelings you have, I don't think it's a good thing to step into ministry just by feelings, because it's one-way traffic. You don't step into ministry because you have a feeling, or because people really want you to do ministry, or because they are clapping hands for you, and you are stepping into ministry. You step into ministry when you have a clarity of purpose and vision.
Okay.
Without vision, I would not have stepped into ministry, no matter the pressure,
Yes.
no matter the, people pressing you, no matter, no matter the results you are having on the field.
Yes.
You don't step into it. I step into ministry because of clarity of vision. So I would say to anyone who probably have this feeling, you should trust God for clarity of vision. Let the purpose of God for your life be so
Be
clear,
revealed, yes.
be revealed.
To you in full.
And if you are stepping into ministry, because sometimes you may have a call, but not to start your own ministry.
Okay, yes.
That call might be to maybe to work under a local church,
Yes.
to be a pastor under a commission. And so if you have such a call, you don't just rush into starting your own ministry, because you may have struggles that might not be, do away
Might
with.
be insurmountable.
Yes.
For you.
So you wait on the Lord for clarity of vision. I have a vision. I had a dream more than 3 times about this vision. That's how I even got to receive the name.
Yeah.
Emmet Gospel Church.
Okay.
Yes. So I got the vision. Which is John 8:32.
Okay.
And that vision made me so brave and bold to step into ministry,
Okay.
aside other evidences I had before.
Okay.
So you need to have a clear vision and also mission through how your vision can be achieved.
Yes.
So I have my vision and I have my mission.
Okay.
My vision is John 8:32, ye shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. And then you have the mission of the ministry also in Luke 4:18 and 19. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me to, that too, one of it is a pillar, which is actually a mission to achieving the vision, to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty they that are bruised. That is 5. And then to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. So these are my objectives through how the vision can be achieved. So with these 2 things in my mind, automatically has given me some kind of inner strength
Yes, that's okay.
to go into full-time ministry. And if I had received this clarity before now, probably like 10 years ago, I would have started even while I finished school, because I finished school as far back as 2011, 2012. So I would have stepped into full-time ministry. But I delayed because there was no clarity. So there was mixed feeling.
Yes. So
If truly I was going to go into full-time ministry, or I was going to work under a church. By the way, my father was a great evangelist, a pastor,
Okay.
for years, many, many years. So I wouldn't know whether I was going to serve in the same church,
Yes.
or I was going to be a church pastor in Dunamis Church. All I know, there was a perceived calling, but no clarity as regards to going into full-time ministry. So I want to say to every young person or anyone trusting to go into ministry, please don't rush to go into ministry. Have clarity. Even if it took 10 years or 15 years, wait for that clarity. Because to step into ministry with clarity of vision, you will see that you will not struggle that much.
Yes.
You may have some challenges, but just to make you strong.
Yes.
That vision will make you to have speed.
Yes.
Yes, because you operate within that calling,
Yes.
within that vision. You don't go beyond the vision anyway, either. So I will ask them to trust God for clarity of vision, not just by dreams or by feelings, but by proofs.
Revelation, proof.
Yes, by proofs. And once that is done, doesn't matter who is saying no,
Yes. You will make it.
you make it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sure your words are a source of encouragement to so many who are looking at going in, because I know that sometimes this can be quite challenging for people, even people who have a call in their lives.
Yeah.
They find that final decision to make the leap and go in can be nerve-wracking for them. How they think of living their life, maybe they have a good job and what have you. And in fact, some people, because of that procrastination, end up not serving God. And like you said, when there's a call on your life and you refuse to answer it, there's usually a negative repercussion, you know. Thank you very, very much. Do you have any more questions, Precious? Okay. Thank you so much, Pastor Risco. Thank you, Mommy. And I can see, now you can see
Yeah.
how God planned everything. It might have started differently, but you can see the reason why he brought two of them together.
Together, yes.
And I think that is also why that vision is being manifested today in their lives and in the ministry. Thank you so much for being with us.